not participating is giving up whatever power, whatever small amount of power you have. We need to participate. We need to pay attention. It doesn't cost that much, and it's kind of entertaining. It's like Game of Thrones, except it's affecting everyone's real life. It's Republicans and conservatives, Democrats, and general crazy people are calling for old people to sacrifice themselves, i.e. die from this pandemic, which is mostly lethal to them. There are people, these are the same people saying we shouldn't even try to help everyone under universal health care because the quality of care is going to be reduced. That's what I keep saying. Now is the time that we need to change. We cannot be happy that we cannot be happy just for things to go back as they were. We need to move forward when everything is in the shitter now. This is how the NHS was created for the UK. Wasn't it shortly after World War II? Everything was fucked. Everything was fucked. They were bombed to shit, and they decided, let's just fucking do this crazy idea. And it works. It's one of the most popular things in the UK. I watched John Oliver, and I guess the UK nominated the guy who finally got the NHS. The NHS made that a thing as like the single most important Brit in their history, which is incredible. And ultimately, it's only about the wealthy and those well-meaning to well-off, fearing that the quality won't be as high, when the rest of us are being convinced by their propaganda outlets like CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Those are propaganda outlets. You can choose the more conservative one, and through Fox News, where you're actively being made dumber than if you don't watch anything at all. Or you can choose CNN, which is basically, or MSNBC, which are basically the exact same, is the exact same media, except instead of focusing on hatred of brown people, poor people, like Fox News does, all they do is they focus on hating Republicans and Fox News. It's ridiculous. It's the perfect system. You catch the racists and all the evil people, all the apathetic people, and they create, the right creates a side to hate in the Democrats. This is I figured it out. They Republicans, Democrats. Republicans focus the hate on the little guys, literally everyone except the wealthy. Whereas they're able to actually do things that are considered progressive. Whereas the left isn't considered able to do things without the right calling it socialism. Socialism. When the right does it, the left won't argue, because the left intrinsically values all human life a little bit more, but only because they are the source of labor. They are the source of the profits. Whereas the right demonizes the other. They only ever attack people who are different. People you aren't familiar with, people you are easily convinced that they have nefarious means. Nefarious methods, nefarious intentions is a better word. While the left is busy condemning them, the right, and the right is fear-mongering against minorities and the poor, and convincing everyone that everyone's lazy. Yes, there are people who are lazy, but as you grow up, as you get older, you realize there's a lot more value in doing things rather than just being lazy. you spend your entire life going after what pleases you, what gives you the most pleasure, you just lose pleasure in doing it. It no longer becomes a source of pleasure. Unless, of course, well, that's just how it is. Like, it's basically supply and demand for dopamine shots. You constantly have that. It just doesn't feel the same. Like, that's why they say masturbation is terrible. Like, well, occasionally, yeah, but if you do it all the time, it's like an orgasm is just like it's just another thing you do before you go to sleep. So it's not really, I'm going too deep into this. My point is, this is a system designed to keep us fighting each other. It starts with the Republicans hating minorities and ends with the Democrats condemning them and making them feel stupid. They are kind of stupid. You have to be at least a little stupid to blame people who are just existing for all of your problems. They are just existing. They have no power. The LGBT community has no power. I mean, it's starting to have a little bit, but only because they play by those rules. Pete Buttigieg, it's irrelevant to the establishment who or what you are, as long as you play by their rules. And he was the perfect embodiment of that. He was a brilliant guy, but he ultimately knew he had to play by their rules if he was going to ever have a shot. And I think, honestly, that entire attempt for the presidency was just another fly in the ointment for Bernie Sanders. I've already made a video on that, though. This is all a finely tuned balance. Fox News plays an integral part of that. The other establishment propaganda plays a huge part in that, too. Don't get your news from these sources. And when you do consume the news from those sources, consider the source. These are all people. Every single one of them is super rich. The ones in front of the camera are millionaires. The ones behind the camera, the one who pull the strings, are billionaires. They don't want a narrative that's going to potentially make them less wealthy. They don't. And it's understandable. They are protective of their interests. Everybody is. But we need to realize that, my previous video, we need to look out for each other. We just need to look out for each other, and the time for that is now. We can change things now, because everything's it's not rock bottom. It's not World War II rock bottom where everything's in shambles. We have a lot of people out of a job. A lot of businesses closing down. Corporations suddenly, please. This problem is losing us money. Can we have some money? Oh, wow. Okay. So when it's small time folks who need help, who just need a little bit to help, who have no guidance, no way of finding for themselves where they fit in the world, they just need help until they try to they're given the opportunity to figure it out. We say no. We say no to the little guy, but the big guys who need, by orders of magnitude, much more help, we say, how much can we hand you? How much do you need? There is no limit. And of course, I don't remember which president said it, but every bomb we create is theft from a hungry family, a homeless family. And we have such a wealth of human experience and knowledge to understand that a raised bar for everyone is an elevated top for everyone. And I don't understand why we are waiting as a species to take advantage of what we already know. This has been Josh of Joshicles. Thank you for another view. Hit that like button and subscribe if you really enjoy my opinions.